Happy Friday and happy Cinco de Mayo. Welcome to the Weekly Objective, your source for all the week's gaming news. I'm your host, Brad Glasgow, and this week I finally returned to the PC Master Race. On this week's Objective, we'll talk a little about the GalCivIII expansion, a big week for the Marvel Universe, and the fact that Activision Blizzard is a money-making factory. But first, let's talk Prey. The big game of the week that releases today, May 5th, is Prey for all the major systems. Early reviews are very positive, but most importantly, early reports are saying that the game runs well. Eric Keane of Forbes said that it has a silky smooth frame rate, and noted the lack of crashes and bugs and overall excellent performance. This was a worry for some as the game is developed by Arcane Studios, which also made Dishonored 2, which didn't exactly perform very well on the PC. You can find a demo for Prey for the Xbox One and the PS4, but not for the PC. Arcane says to use the 2-hour Steam refund policy as a PC demo instead, because they didn't have time to do a demo for both the consoles and the PC. Prey is, of course, a full-priced game at $60. For strategy gamers, the big gaming news this week was the release of the Galactic Civilization III expansion, Crusade. Stardoc's Brad Wardell calls it a huge expansion, with perhaps the biggest feature being the ability to create your own faction in the game. You can pick up Crusade for $20, or you can pick up a bundle with the base game, GalCivIII III, which is required for the expansion, for $40. Activision Blizzard released their financial report for the first quarter of 2017, and the too long didn't read version is, they made a buttload of money. They overperformed against estimates and had a record-setting quarter, with Overwatch being their fastest growing franchise. With 30 million users, Overwatch has now become the $8th billion franchise for Activision Blizzard. They reported 431 million monthly active users, contributing to a record $1.73 billion in revenue. In comic book adaptation news, the trailer for Marvel's The Defenders hit this week, and I have to say it looks pretty good. The Defenders is a combination of all 4 Marvel Netflix heroes, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Nick Cage, and Iron Fist. It's scheduled to hit Netflix on August 18th, so we have 3 months to wait. Hopefully Iron Fist won't be as annoying this time around. Meanwhile, hitting theaters today in the United States is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Right now it's sitting at an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, where critics are saying it's a good movie, but not quite as good as the first. We shall see. I mean, who's going to listen to the critics on this one? You're all going to watch it. Gamasutra is reporting that Playerunknown's Battlegrounds has now hit 2 million sales, though they didn't provide any sources for that story. Still, the game is consistently at or near the top of the Steam weekly sales chart and has obviously become quite a hit. The game is an open-world survival, last man standing concept, kind of like the Hunger Games. It's in early access, as these games tend to be. H1Z1 has been in early access since January of 2015. And you can get it for $30 on Steam. In more cool upcoming game news, the announcement trailer for Darksiders III hit this week. The sequel to the hack and slash series with epic boss fights is slated for release in 2018. It's a pretty cool trailer, check it out. Love that hair. That will do it for what was a little bit of a slow gaming news week this week. If you haven't already, make sure to check out my video editorial about Anita Sarkeesian and the stifling legacy of her Trope series, which I'll link to here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to The Witcher 3. Yennefer isn't going to find herself after all. This has been Brad Glasgow with Game Objective. Thanks for watching. It's so beautiful.